Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Spin Hoops. It's been a minute, three and a half weeks or so. Episode 40 of Spin Hoops, though. We are back. We're back with a vengeance, some energy, some post All-Star break energy, some playoff run energy. Anthony, how are we feeling?
Yes, sir. Doing well, bro. Yeah, post All-Star break. Did we talk about the All-Star events?
Yeah, in the last pod we that was like right after the All-Star break. Well, we talked in like Curry and Ionescu and stuff like that. Actually, was it right before the All-Star break?
I think we talked about what we thought was going to happen. I don't know if we recapped it.
Dang, maybe
Any
dang.
quick, any
We
quick
suck at
thoughts?
pod. We suck at
Yeah, we
podcasting.
do. Officially mid podcasters over here.
Just terrible, just terrible. But I'm hyped though. There's so much to talk about.
Yes, sir.
East, West, any like there's the post trade deadline moves. We've seen basically four weeks of a sample size for a lot of these teams. There's a lot to talk about. I honestly think we're basically just gonna run through the standings, run through all these teams, try to talk about them as much as possible.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we'll get right into it.
Hmm. Um, yeah. Should we start with the East?
Take us away.
My conference? Okay. Yeah, so as things stand, Celtics at the top, we'll get into them, but seeming like they will probably have the one seed barring some monumental collapse. And then it's kind of a bit of a dogfight in the 2-3 right now between Cleveland and Milwaukee. They're going back and forth. Cleveland's had a few pretty crazy games recently where they've won against the Timberwolves, against the Celtics, and of course against the Mavs. Absolutely unbelievable. All these white boys for Cleveland are saving them. Milwaukee has kind of started to turn it around a little bit. They were undefeated, lost a couple games, especially a stinker against the Lakers. No LeBron, even though then before that you beat the Clippers, no Giannis. So it's just interesting how that works. Other big ones, Knicks, Magic, Heat, Sixers, and Pacers, all within 2.5 games of each other between the 4 seed and the 8 seed. And that kind of rounds out that top 8 seeds. Then you have the Bulls and the Hawks kind of rounding out the rest of the plan at the 9 and 10. And then there's a big gap between them, Brooklyn, Raptors, and then even further down, Charlotte, Detroit. And congratulations, Washington. You are officially eliminated from the playoffs.
It's hilarious also, like with the Kuzma tweet where he's like, no one's trying to lose to Washington, or no one's trying to lose to the Pistons. And it's like, nah, like you guys are that team now.
Yeah.
But on the Wizards note, I will say, just really quick, I feel like they've looked a little better. Poole moved to the bench. They're basically just giving Tyus Jones a bunch of run, and he'll probably walk in the offseason, which is a little weird to me, but whatever. But or actually Tyus might have 2 years left on his contract. Maybe I'm tweaking about that. But anyways, Poole going to the bench has been actually like really, really good, averaging like 23 points per game in like the last 6 games, if I remember correctly. And same sort of vibes with the Pistons. I really explicitly remember us critiquing them for playing for not playing Asar Thompson, for not playing Jaden Ivey earlier in the season. We were basically like, they're playing the older guys when they could just play the younger guys and win more games. And Monty Williams watches the Spittin' Hoops podcast because he's finally doing it. A few nights ago, I think Ivy and Cade combined for like 65 in a game where Ausar also played like 37 minutes. And I was like, fantastic. I think they still lost, but I was like, you know, this is
That's what
what
they
this is what
need.
we want to see.
Yeah, that's what they need. Get your run. Don't need 30 minutes of Bogdanovich out there. Alec Burks.
24 minutes, Alec Burks. Like, what are we getting out of this? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
just kind of wasting your time. Yeah. Um, any thoughts on that kind of shuffling of that lower half of the Eastern Conference playoff bracket?
Of the playoff bracket itself, it's just kind of like, well, there's also weird breaking news from right before this podcast is Benedict Mathurin is going to be out for the rest of the season. And
Oh,
we've seen the pace. Yeah. Woj tweeted about this like 20 minutes ago, if I remember correctly.
whoa.
Um,
With
yeah.
what?
Shoulder injury.
Damn.
Yeah, so
That's
weird
big.
situation, but the Pacers were already not looking too great, and now they're gonna lose Ben Mathurin. That's a team that traded for Siakam 2 months ago. Um, pretty weird situation there. But then the rest is really curious to me because the Bucks haven't been that good. The Sixers lost and beat, so be
Yeah.
it. But you have like the Magic who won't lose a game against a bad team, like no matter what. Like I think in the last 10 games they played like the Pistons twice, like a bunch of weird trap games, both at home and on the road. And it's like Paolo is just gonna like score 30 points and shoot 12 free throws and like ice the game each time. So I just wanted to give the Magic a lot of credit. Their defense for a young team, they're very progressive young team, if that makes any sense. Like they're very talented defensively. They got a star who gets the rack, a lot of fouls. Um, like that's the sort of team you need right now.
And he's playing really well. He's putting up great numbers. What, 28 or 23, 8 and 5?
Yeah, and the shot quality, I think I critiqued it a lot when he made the All-Star team, like, but it makes sense still. Like that's a guy who can put up 28 points per game is the guy who helps you coast through all these bad teams, and they're a young team. Like they don't need to beat the Celtics right now.
Yeah. No, it's true. 22 and 6 against teams under 500. So they're taking advantage. I believe that their over under prediction was 38 and a half wins. So they're about to eclipse that. Good for them.
Yeah, like they're gonna blow that out of the water. And like they finally have figured out how to like kind of play Wendell Carter, who's finally back from injuries, like role guys like Mo Wagner, like Gary Harris still playing a good amount, like etc.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. They're really fun. Also, Anthony Black is still really fun. Like I
Yeah.
still haven't taken my eyes off him. His 3-point shooting, like for the season, he only shoots 1.5 threes a game, but he's shooting 40% from three. Like if we can get those attempt numbers up, he'll be a good player. Like I don't know. I'm excited. They have a clear top three also. Well, a clear
Mhm.
top two, but a clear top three, and they can build around Suggs, Franz, and
Yeah.
Paolo. And they'll be good.
Yeah. And then they kind of got these projects that they can, if they work out, great. But if they don't, then they can find something else in Fultz, Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac, different questions for different reasons. But the
Jet
future,
Howard.
Chet Howard, yeah. I mean, the future is bright in Orlando for sure.
Yeah, I'm like the thing is, if I was any team in the East, I would still want to play them in a playoff series. Like that's the team of the top six. I don't know if you agree with this. That's the team I easily want to play the most.
Well, it's the only team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a while for sure.
Yeah, and like even if the Bucks are like pretty dysfunctional, the Cavs now with Mobley out for 4 6 weeks, like the Heat are playing really well too. Like that's the thing. The Heat are flying under the radar as they always do. They're up to the 6th seed too. Like
Yeah. Couple losses against the Mavs and the Thunder, but I ain't gonna say nothing about the Heat. I have nothing bad to say about the Heat because they wake me up in the middle of the night from nightmares.
even in that Mavs game, there was like some stuff where like Terry Rozier's hitting threes with like two guys in his face with like a minute left, and it was giving me like flashbacks to like last playoffs. So it was giving me like Gabe Vincent like just pulling up from 30. Like I'm like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. The East is spicy. Like there's a lot of injuries, and I know the Celtics are winning, but like there's gonna be a lot of shuffling for these like play-in slash playoff outright
Mhm.
slots.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's super exciting. And I mean the potential playoff matchups, we can't even predict them yet because we just don't know who's gonna fall in and fall out. If I had to guess, I think the Celtics will play the Sixers or the Bulls or the Hawks in the first round, just based on where the standings are looking. I don't think the Sixers will keep climbing. So hopefully we get out of the first round without a scare.
I'm I'm just saying the Bulls are just like definitely gonna win the play-ins and then get
Yeah.
swept in the first round. Like that's just it feels like that's totally what they're gonna and then their GM is gonna be like, oh, what a great season, run it back. Like I don't know.
I mean, to their credit, they are 31 and 32, but just in such a different way than we expected. Like Andre Drummond coming out of the woodwork, AO and Kobe White taking a step, which we were
Yeah.
hoping for, but just didn't happen. Patrick Williams just being an absolute non factor with his injury, and Zach
Things
being
think Pat Williams is out for the year now. I think
Yeah.
that's a recent thing. So like, yeah, Zach and Pat Williams just done,
Yeah.
and they're still gonna make the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
Alex Caruso was mobbing.
yeah, it's dude, and you know what? They're just not gonna blow it up. That's the thing. They're gonna talk themselves into not blowing it up again, and I'm just gonna be like depressed. Like all these guys who should be on good teams, and Kobe White deserves to run his own team.
Mm,
To be honest, dude's been amazing. He's probably third in my MIP.
arguably.
What we got the Tyrese's top two
Well, yeah, I mean, Halliburton can't even be in it
for MIP.
for
Oh, games
game
played.
for games rule, yeah. But if you
Kobe
were
White
to,
number one? No.
yeah, well, and then Sengun, but like to your point, if you knew kind of what was going to happen, his progression was expected. Kobe White's progression was not expected.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm just not surprised about Sengun being good. Well, I guess we can get to that when we go over the West, but like, yeah, I'm just not surprised about Sengun being good. Kobe White was playing like 12 minutes for like stretch, like for a
Yeah,
certain amount of games at the beginning of the season, like I don't know.
yeah. Um,
It's pretty
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
we'll get to the West in a sec. Just looking forward to some David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, like
Oh,
reads with Wemby and
yes,
Sengun, dude.
yes.
Like it was so good, except European style this time. Just
Oh,
out World War III in Texas.
the side by sides are so sick too. Like when they
Yeah.
were like showing like the footworks, like oh, dude.
Oh,
And
it's so good.
Şengün, like that's definitely Wemby is definitely gonna talk about Şengün dropping 45 on his head like 10 years from now. Like that is
Yeah.
definitely some sort of welcome to the NBA moment. Like
Mhm.
because Embiid dropped 50 on Wemby's head like earlier in the
73.
season. What?
73.
Yeah, but it's like that's Embiid. But like Şengün out of nowhere after Wemby's been on a tear, just Şengün rolling up and just hanging 45 is insane. Like
Yeah. Um, yeah, any other notes on the East real quick?
we got to do Celtics.
Okay, let's do the Celtics. You want to start?
I mean, I'll definitely start. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
they looked amazing up until 2 games ago, and then pretty much like pretty what was it, the Cleveland loss and then the Nuggets loss?
Yep.
Um, Before that, they had a 40-point destruction of the Warriors, just an absolute like there were just two. It was the Globetrotters against the Generals. Like it was like a non-competitive game. Like
Yeah.
Celtics look amazing. Rolling the next game. You got Cleveland, no D Mitch. Um, and then Dean Wade drops 20 points in the fourth to beat y'all. And the offense again kind of goes a little stagnant, but
Yep.
really, yeah, it was the Jokic Celtics game made it feel like there was a gap between like the fact that Jokic can command a game in the late in like with 4 minutes left, the
Yeah.
Nuggets know exactly what they're doing every time. And it helps to have Nikola Jokic,
Yep.
but you could kind of see that late game execution gap felt like between them and the Celtics.
Yeah. The Celtics to me feel like that teenager that shows so much promise, but they just keep getting in trouble at school, and they'll be on such a great streak, and then they will do something like they did against the Cavs, which you know what? At the end of the day, it happens. I'm gonna try to fight against my panic button. But and the Nuggets are really friggin' good, but I think you nailed it right there. It's that late game execution where all of a sudden the Celtics forget how to play in the way that got them to success in the first place. When the Warriors were on their run, on their championship run, it was because they played the same way every single time consistently. They never stopped playing the same way, which was good enough to make them win 85% of their games. So if they were down by 20, that was okay because they were almost certainly going to come back because the other team was they were going to regress, and you're going to win in those games and you have a clear hierarchy. And I just it's disappointing. I think it's important though that the Celtics had a couple of these really bad losses, especially against Denver, because we just got to Cleveland. It is what it is. I don't even know if we're going to see them in the playoffs, but I think that the Celtics. It's important to be able to look into the mirror and say this is why we keep losing. We're right on the finish line and we keep stumbling right before. So it is frustrating. I love that win streak before, but the way these last two losses have happened just definitely put a bad taste in your mouth. And it's weird, you figure you'd rather lose to a great team than a bad team, but in the NBA, I think you'd rather lose to a team like, yeah, Atlanta, beats you once in a while or something like that. And you just have an off game versus Denver, which is sort of supposed to be a measuring stick game. So, good wins against the Warriors, to your point, and the Mavs beforehand. They look dominant. They play the Suns tonight. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really good analysis, like top to bottom. It's I'd never want to overrate regular season NBA games, but especially when it was like Nuggets, Celtics, full team, both teams are healthy, both teams kind of know what's up. Like
Yeah.
these are the two favorites, and
Yep.
they're both showing up. This is like a if I beat you in this game, you're gonna remember it 2 months from now when we're playing in the finals, and both teams wanted to win. Not saying they don't want to win other regular season games, but um, I think Porzingis is really good, obviously, but you just can't stop Nikola Jokic. No one can, right? But it's it's really tough. It's really tough when Porzingis like just has to kind of when it's like him and Horford and they just kind of have to get relegated to this like guarding Porzingis role and like they can then you got Aaron Gordon cutting off of him attacking the basket, stuff like that, or Jamal Murray's now running pick and rolls and he gets run into the basket. It really makes it difficult on defense, especially late game. And then the Nuggets late game defense is just absurd. Like that is one thing. But that aside, like I think these last few games kind of are why, like, I think the general public and myself don't view Tatum as like a top 4 to 5 MVP guy. Or I guess he's probably fifth right now, but there's a gap. And it's because, like, in theory, he should be like, I got this. Like in a lot of these games, like he's got the talent, he's got the percentages, he's got the ability to get to the rack. Like and it always gets a little stagnant, especially when you have role players like Derek White and Drew Holiday are willing to sit in the corner all day for you. Um, and like I'm not like unfortunately Tatum just doesn't have a bag or an arsenal of offensive like tricks and skill sets like Luca does, for example, to be able to just manufacture offense, um, which makes it a little difficult. I don't know.
You think Tatum doesn't have a bag or a late game bag?
Well, Tatum absolutely has a bag, but he doesn't. I think late game where teams are focusing him and he's still got to go get a bucket. Like he just doesn't have the arsenal that a lot of these, even Jokic has. Like Jokic can go get a bucket in like 15 different ways. Tatum can go get a bucket in like 9 to 10 different ways, which is like amazing still, and he's still like a top 5 player in the NBA. But like you still he doesn't have the arsenal that like Luca can do anything on offense,
Mm,
and even in a late game scenario. And Tatum just hasn't shown that ability
yeah.
for me. As clutch as he is, like he's not ripping off 20 straight.
Yeah.
And like that's a high bar, but like the talent in the NBA is off the charts. It's a ridiculous bar to hold him to. But like we're
Mhm.
trying to win the chip here, and this year in the NBA is ridiculous. Like I don't know. Regardless, y'all are clearly the second best team
Top two team.
or the
Yeah.
or the first best team. But like you're not lower than that. I don't know.
Yeah. Not, yeah. I mean, remains to be seen. Some good matchups coming up for the Celtics. Um, and then just the West is such a such a power struggle. Any other notes on the East?
No, honestly, I think I
I
did got
I had a
my
couple like
my
weird
chest.
little like standings observations. So the Bulls also really beat up on sub 500 teams. They're 18-6, which is a better win percentage than the Bucks against sub 500 teams who are 21-8.
That's a
So
great stat.
I don't know what the rest of the Bulls standings are, but if they keep playing really bad teams, then well, they're 18-6, so that's 24 games. No, I think so. They might have a tough stretch ahead of them. So we'll see how that goes. Um, Oh, this is a good one. The Wizards are This is crazy. The Wizards haven't played a lot of sub 500 teams. They're 9-13 against teams that are sub 500. Not bad.
Yeah,
They have
it's actually
one win. Yeah, it's not. They're 1-45 against teams that are above 500.
that is terrible.
I don't
That
know
is
what that one is, but yeah,
just accidentally won a game.
like ridiculous. And then the last weird little stat in the East is weirdly the Hawks. They're 17-26 against the rest of the Eastern Conference, but they're 12-8 against the West. And I don't know what that means, but
If they
they
were in
have
the West, they'd be in the playoffs, I guess. Yeah.
maybe in the playoffs. I guess that's how the NBA works, right?
Is the
Uh,
East better than the West? No,
I mean,
I'm
not this year.
yeah, no.
I won't even try to argue that. I would have tried maybe last year, but this year there's just too much good
Yeah.
talent.
Every year you try to make the argument. You always try a little bit. This year you can't though. This year it is what it is. I guess with that, we can move into the West. So kind of fun facts. The West is really, really good this year. The top 10 teams are all on pace for like 44 plus wins. The closest thing that I can remember in terms of depth for a conference like this is like 2020, 2021, where the top nine teams were all 4 games above 500. There was a year, I believe in 2015, or 2014, where
Yeah,
basically the top 7 seeds had 50 wins or
yeah,
something crazy like that.
yeah.
But this is like 10 teams. This is like 10 teams of 44 plus wins on pace. And they'll probably all get there. Really quick running through the standings: Thunder, T-Wolves, Nuggets, top three, Clippers, Pelicans, Suns, and then the Kings, Mavericks were on a downward spiral for a little bit. They're kind of solidifying. So are the Lakers and the Warriors. That rounds out all the teams with at least 33 wins. After that, we kind of got a gap to the Rockets, Jazz, and then Grizzlies, Blazers, and Spurs. Overall, like there's a lot to talk about here, but I want to talk about the Mavericks really quick. I've been watching a lot of their basketball games. Um, they're 5-5 over their last 10. I think I've decided that Jason Kidd is like a horrendous coach for me. Like in my opinion, like I think he's just god awful. But they find all these random role players who do really cool and fun things and like playoff winning things. And then Jason Kidd refused to play them and plays Tim Hardaway Jr. So, there's that.
Motherboard.
Yeah. So first of all, there's that. That's the elephant in the room. But Dante Exum, who has been playing in Serbia for 2 years. He's back. He's started 20 games already, basically, for the Mavericks this year. He's shooting 50% from three, 10 points a
Woo!
game, like playing really good defense. And this is in like 18 minutes played. So like if he's playing 36 minutes a game, he'd be scoring like 15 to 16 points per game with really good defense and really good shooting. So I don't know where they found this dude. Like, shout out. I if anyone played like NBA 2K14, he was like your
Mm,
rival, and they had like all these like audio cues like cued in the game, and so Dante Exum would be like talking shit to you in game. It was like ridiculous. So first of all, hilarious, but he's back. I guess you go play in Serbia, and they just teach you how to play basketball again. I don't know, but
literally.
same mold as like Josh Green and like
Mhm.
even even PJ Washington. PJ Washington has shown zero ability to shoot since he got traded to the Mavericks for some reason, but his defense has been off the charts, and it's like cool. Like it's it's cool. It kind of makes sense to me. Like even though they gave up a lot of firsts, I really think they should just fire Jason Kidd and just bring in like just about anyone else. But yeah,
Bro, yeah, they got to reset that. Yeah,
yeah.
you see all the quotes like that he's just been like pulling out. He's like, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Like
It's
you've
like,
been the coach for like 3 years. Like dude, like they're also like they have a lot of talents. Like if we just run through the talent on this team, like at this point, between like Gafford, Lively, like Kyrie, Luca, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like Kid doesn't have that many excuses. Like I don't know, Luca by himself is basically getting you a playing slot, and you're only 2 games above the Luca minimum, basically.
I think the issue is to your point, there's just so much talent on all of these teams in front of them. Like even the Kings. they have like so much talent. The Suns have been able to scrap together a team that's honestly very impressive. Still don't have faith in them in the playoffs, but very impressive.
Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal have been like off the charts good. Like, yeah. And also, Bradley Beal has been like not good. Like to the point where I've seen like Phoenix fans being like, "Dang, like low key, if we just hadn't traded for like Brad Beal, like things would be nice." Like, which is retrospect, which is first of all hilarious. It's easy to say that. Oh, dude, if we just hadn't traded for like a top 35 player, we'd be good. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, lucky that you can even say that. But O'Neal and Grayson Allen, who are both free agents this offseason, have been really good. So
The Phoenix Suns do not have a big three. They have
it's
a
a
big
big two.
two and then a bunch of really good guys and a super role player right now in Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that's a Super Bowl player is a good way to put it. They have no dude. Drew Eubanks is also like
He's really good.
he's yeah.
And Nurkic has been really good.
Nurkic has been good. Nurkic has been really good. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, they just have like bodies, and it's like up to Vogel to figure it out. And honestly,
So far, so good. Not bad.
37 wins, pretty good. I think we predicted them to be around fifth in our preseason rankings, to be honest.
Something like that. I mean, with the Lakers and Warriors, I think we both had kind of near them.
Yeah,
So if they fall, bro, this plane's gonna be crazy.
dude. Imagine if we got imagine if the Kings pass the Suns. You get like a K in the play-ins. You get Steph, Luca, LeBron, AD, Kyrie,
Booker, KD,
KD, Beal, like
like
Draymond, except bubble. Like you can go down the list. Like the play-in's such a lit concept. I remember. Okay, even now, actually, a lot of people don't like it. LeBron roasted it. Remember, dude, everyone's capping. The play-in is sick.
I saw an interesting take on Twitter, and I want to hear your thoughts. So in the West, the play-in, I mean, there's a 3 game difference between the 7 and the 10 seed. So that's pretty close. And those teams could, I mean, the Warriors, they could keep figuring it out and close that gap pretty quickly. Lakers, I think, have won 11 of their last 16 games, and so they could keep figuring it out. And who knows? If you go back to the East, there's a bit of a gap between the Pacers and the Bulls, even though the Bulls are on a bit of a tear. Um, and somebody had sent something. Do you remember how the format in the
I know
bubble
you're.
is different?
Yes, when you had to get within four
Like 4
games to trigger
games.
the play-ins. Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
I think it would be
Mm,
interesting to go back to that where you still keep the
mm.
7 through 10 unless and I don't know how it would work if it's just one of those teams, but then maybe like just the 8 and the 9 have a plan and the 7
Yeah,
automatically is that 7 seed. But it kind of sucks if you're the Pacers. And granted, you slowed down a little bit, but what if you have 6 more wins than that 9 seed?
that's a really. I'm thinking about. That's a really good idea. I don't know why they didn't do that. Because also the way you could, if you want, the way you could do it is still have the 7 and 8 play for the seventh slot, and
Sure.
then it's like both those teams get 2 games of chances to make the
Mhm.
playoffs,
And then you
and then
play
if
that
it,
9 seed.
yeah, and then you play. Dude, that's a great idea. Because also it's like. The Hawks are like an interesting case because like Trey Young's hurt, but it's like if they were,
They won 3 straight.
yeah, that's the thing. They've been DeJounte Murray's been like going off
They've
actually.
been so good. Yeah.
But if they were a lot worse,
Yeah.
it would just be like, dude, come on. Like a
And
good
that's
example. Do you remember when the Spurs made the play-in with like 38 wins 3 years
do.
ago?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's like respectfully, like what are we doing?
We don't want you to limp in by accident.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
not at all. And thank goodness I think the only times where the 9 seed has beaten the 8 seed, that's happened twice. The Cavs lost to who, the Hawks? Or no, the Wizards. And that was an okay first round matchup. And then
yeah,
the great one was when you guys unfortunately lost to the Grizzlies, and that was a
Grizzlies.
first round matchup.
That was
Um,
a great game. That was
yeah.
the start of that little rivalry. That was like the beginning of that. Yeah.
But like, I don't want to see the Hawks get hot from 3 in one game and then beat the Pacers, who have been surpassing expectations all season. I want to see Halliburton in the playoffs.
To be fair though, on the other hand, someone's gonna say, well, if the Pacers can't beat nah, but that's like such a stupid argument. The Pacers have played all season. Like if the Pacers are like 10 games up on the Hawks, even if the Pacers are the 9 and the Hawks are the 10, the Pacers should not have to play the Hawks to get in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When the Raptors won the chip in 2019, they played, I believe they played the Magic in the first round. They lost the first game of that
Yeah.
series, and then they won the next five. There's so many situations where a team has lost that first. I remember when the Celtics lost against the Bucks in the second round, and then they got waxed. So it's just an idea of something that they could tinker with.
I actually really like that idea. I we're so far from reviewing the West playoff
Spitting
those things. But I think that is a fantastic idea. I don't know. I honestly don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe because they needed a guaranteed number of games for like the TV deals for the playing games.
Sure. And maybe
Maybe
also sometimes you just don't know something's an issue until it pops up.
yeah. Because this is all, to be fair, even when the Spurs were in the plans, they just lost immediately, and we just
Yeah.
didn't think twice about it. They were just like, okay, because like no one's gonna really get mad about this again until the
Until
34 win Hawks beat the 44 win Pacers
yeah.
in the 10-9 game, and the
Yeah.
Pacers would be like, why the fuck do we even play this game? You know? So I don't know. I think that's a really, really good idea. But okay, getting back on track with the West. There are some few things I wanted to highlight. The Rockets are just continue to crack me up as a NBA franchise. Jalen Green, shout out, having a baby soon. Fred VanVleet, really learned it. You really learned from Fred VanVleet. Maybe Jalen Green will start balling like crazy now.
He's been playing well.
What?
He's been playing well. That dunk he had.
Yeah. He has been playing well. He's not on the hot streak he was like right before the All-Star break, but yeah, he's playing well. I'm he's not gonna get extended. He's eligible for a rookie extension this offseason.
Mhm.
I don't think they're gonna be able to agree to a contract.
I mean, he'd have to go psycho mode for the rest of the year or something
Because
to change that narrative.
yeah, because Jalen Green's gonna go, I want 100 million over 4 years because I can score 20 points per game in an NBA game.
Yep.
I've shown that, and the Rockets are gonna be like, okay, yeah, but you haven't shown anything else. Like I don't know. So I'm curious about that. Really, really excited to see that. But on the other hand, so like Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, like they didn't play very much at the beginning of the season, and they both have certain severe limitations, but they're like clearly NBA players. Like they're very good.
They're very
Amen
good.
Thompson specifically, him and his brother just defensively are off the charts. Some of the best rookie defenders I've ever seen, frankly, especially Amen, who's at a guard slot defending that well. And then Cam Whitmore, just athletic specimen, playing really well. He was in the G League earlier this season. Now he's playing. Um, I'm really excited to see them. I almost wish they didn't sign Van Fleet or Dylan Brooks. Like I almost wish they had less of the veterans so
Right.
that they could play all the young guys. But a year ago, we were saying they need to sign some veterans. So it's funny how the NBA changes. I don't know.
Just like that. And I mean, the best player on their team has just taken the next step, and we're finally back to talking about Sengun.
Yes, yes. Finally, we're back. Was he in the okay? Was he in the same draft as Jalen Green? This is year 3, right? This is year 3 for Shangoon.
I believe so. Sengun draft year.
Because Shangoon's gonna get a like if anyone's gonna get a contract, it's him. Like that's a
2021.
layup deal.
2021. Was that Jalen Green's draft year?
Think so. They're both 3 years in.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So that's gonna be interesting because they're just probably gonna pick between the two. And then honestly, they're probably gonna shop Jalen Green like crazy. And unless you get a first or two, you're not trading Jalen Green. And who's giving you a first for Jalen Green?
Ye-
Unless it's a back end
no.
first. But like if someone's giving you the 28th pick in the draft, like you're just not trading Jalen Green. Like at that point, you're just keeping him. Like
Yeah, why not? I mean, he's a project, and he's I mean
exactly.
good enough. Um, but yeah, bro. I mean, damn. Like he's good. The Rockets are in good hands right now with
Yeah.
this guy. This
They'll be
kid.
they'll be they'll be good. They're I don't know.
th-
They're set up really well.
they're set up really well. It was weird looking at the standings. They're 7 games under 500, but they have a plus .2 point differential. And again, I'll hop into some weird little stats here. It's because I believe it's because they're 6-4 in close games, as in 3-point games, and they are 15-13 in blowouts, as in 10-point games or more.
Huh.
So I'm not
So
really sure.
sometimes they just get hot and just spank teams.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. And they're competitive consistently every night too. That's the thing. Like they hang around.
Well, they got the signs of good young teams. Like this what I was saying about the Magic earlier too? Like they won't lose against bad teams. The Rockets do lose against bad teams. They also don't really lose at home. I think they have a really good home record if I remember correctly this season.
Yeah,
Um,
21-11.
yeah. Which again, good signs, good signs. They're young, but they're good. Like they're like Charles Barkley once said, they're coming. Um,
Yeah, they are. They're on their way, bro.
hey,
uh,
uh,
huh?
So another thing I want to talk about, Karl Anthony Towns is out with a torn meniscus, same injury as Joel Embiid. That's probably his year done, I think.
But this
Uh,
4 to 6 weeks, no?
is that what they said? 4 to 6 weeks? He's not getting surgery?
Or are they reevaluating in 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah, they're probably reevaluating. Yeah, Towns will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Um, like he's got a shot to come back in the postseason. I don't think he will. Torn meniscus. It's the same thing with Embiid. Embiid might not even play in the postseason. He tore his meniscus like a month and a half ago. Like this is one of the more serious injuries, especially for big men. Um, again, I always reference this. Jared Jackson took a year to come back from his. James Wiseman took a year to come back from his. Like this is especially for big men. This is an important
Robert
injury.
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I thought they were probably getting first rounded anyways. Uh, so that's like my sneaky take. But if the Lakers play the T-Wolves in a first round matchup, like, am I gonna pick the T-Wolves?
Right. I mean, at least this is an opportunity to have Anthony Edwards alone on the stage. It's like, all right, buddy, let's see what you can do.
Yeah. Do you got this? It's like what I was saying with Tatum. Like you got a chance to just elevate right now.
Yeah, you can. And he's
And
been great,
oh,
but
the block,
that was insane.
dude.
That whole sequence was insane.
Yeah. Dude, that block is one of the best blocks I've ever seen, where he hits his head on the backboard.
Bro, I mean, he just had a baby.
Van
Everybody
Fleet
that's having a
effect.
baby. Dude, it's the baby effect.
Van Fleet effect. Dude,
Yeah.
that's what, bruh, a man with a baby on the way, he'll do anything. He'll do anything to get some extra money.
Bro, I gotta text someone. I gotta figure that out, man. Dude, if these turn up after they have a kid, yo, talk to me in 10 months. Spin hoops will be on a new level.
When you're a corner 3-point specialist for the Celtics.
Yeah, dude. Dude, you swap you with Peyton Pritchard, you're not gonna know the difference.
Dude, honestly, yeah, that's facts.
Yo, why is Peyton Pritchard 1 for 52 in his last corner 3-point attempts?
Wait, is that real? Is that a,
No,
oh,
no, no,
God,
that
that's
was
you. I was like, I could have believed it. Bro was never seen a shot he didn't like.
dude, he's so trigger happy. I love it.
It's good though. It's good. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about. Basically, the West is super tight, and like a lot of good teams. I think just the Nuggets are probably gonna win the West. Like I think we've been beating around the bush for a while. I think it's unfortunate. Early prediction. This is probably just gonna be Celtics Nuggets, and yeah,
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think the Thunder could pose some challenges. I think the Clippers, I would love to see a Clippers Nuggets conference finals. That would go crazy.
that would, and those teams would they'd be talking. They'd be talking.
Like the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, And if Paul George can turn it around, which I think he can.
Oh, we were talking about this, or like I was texting you about this, right?
Yep.
He's been since he was named an all-star, pretty much has been just not good. Like
Mhm.
17 a game, like shooting percentage has been bad. Um, yeah, I mean, if he's a consistent guy, he'll turn it around. Like he's also of the guys on the Clippers, like the Hardens and the Westbrooks of the world, I feel like Paul George is actually someone who usually plays pretty well in the playoffs when he's not hitting the side of the backboard. Um,
Since 2020, he's been really good in the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, he used to be playoff P, and then he was like bad for a bit in the playoffs, and then we memed him, but it is what it is. But I still think the Nuggets are like a good gap in front of the other teams. I still have question marks about their bench, but their bench is going to play 12 minutes a game in the playoffs,
Yeah.
just like we saw last year. And the Thunder, they got Gordon Hayward, good move, but it's playing like 18 minutes a game. It's like no one upgraded enough to catch the Nuggets, in my opinion, in the West specifically, and probably around the whole NBA potentially.
Um, I mean, yeah, just kind of seeing what the Nuggets do against like some of these really, really good teams. I mean, yeah, I saw it for myself against the Celtics, bro.
Oh,
They're good. They're just consistently good.
dude, the pick and roll play that they run where Jokic gets the ball and he starts rolling to the basket and then lobs it back on the short lob to Aaron Gordon. Like Aaron Gordon will then cut, like they'll basically be like 10 feet away from each other in real space. But Jokic will like just lob it up to the hoop and Aaron Gordon comes out of nowhere from the corner and like just yams it. And they run
Mhm.
that play like 2 times a game. And it's just like the GM of the Nuggets who envisioned like this shit going down like 4 years ago when they traded for Aaron Gordon is just a mastermind.
Oh my
Like
Lord, bro. I mean,
incredible.
so good. And then they've really kind of figured out their bench. Justin Holiday has been a revelation for them. He said it made him have faith in the NBA again. The Nuggets are so good.
Really?
The brand of basketball. Yeah, that's like a real quote from him.
That's awesome.
And Peyton Watson has remained solid. Christian Brown's still good. Yeah, man, this team is really tough and it's really scary.
And like KCP also I don't want to like go on talking about the defending NBA champs being like, hey guys, they're really good. Like obviously
Yeah.
we know that, but like I also want to give a shout out to KCP. Like it also helps when you have a guy who like just consistently every playoffs, every regular season shoots like 41% from three. And
Mm.
just like you have to guard that guy. Not even just have to, you have to like pay attention to that guy. But he's the fourth best player on the court. Like it's like, dude. And he fits perfectly with what they do. He doesn't need the ball at all. He just sits there and he just pulls the defender and then he's gonna go play defense on the other side. And he's cool with that. Fits perfectly on the team. And there's really not that many players who are doing that right now. Like Andrew Wiggins 2 years ago was doing that, but there's very few players who do it year in, year out. And KCP just is one of those guys. They traded a first and Will Barton and Monty Morris for him. I think both those guys are out of the NBA.
Monty Morris got traded to the Timberwolves, but I don't think had much playing time. But yeah.
Will Barton is definitely not in. Will Barton is in a European league or China or something right now. Like he scored 86 or something in an NBA game, like or in
Yeah.
a game like a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my rant about the Nuggets. Basically, I'm kind of unfortunately we're probably on the way there. Uh, Let me. Do you want to walk with me really quick here?
All
If
right.
you wins another chip, he's
Mm.
probably going to win MVP at this rate, or he could. Who's the favorite right now? He's the favorite.
To win? Yeah, he's the favorite. He's still the favorite.
Like he's probably the top 15 NBA player all time.
If he wins the MVP and the Finals MVP in the most competitive NBA season that we can remember, um,
I mean, I don't know if this season's the most competitive season. I think the East is just decimated by injuries, unfortunately, at this
yeah,
point.
that's true. I mean, at least it started.
Regardless.
it started out like it was going to be the
Yeah.
most competitive, and there were like 12 teams that could have had a puncher's chance at the conference
Yeah.
finals, but it's changed. But
But regardless of that, this is not a layup NBA season. This is not like
no,
this is especially in the West, which where the Nuggets are playing.
it's
Like
gauntlet. It's a gauntlet. You don't want to see any of
so
those teams in the first round.
if he wins the chip in the finals, is he better than like he's better than Karl Malone probably? And if he wins MVP and Finals MVP,
Yeah, he would be both basketball and morally better than Karl Malone. That's true.
well, yeah,
Um,
yeah, we should. Yeah, that was bad first example.
yeah, but
Charles Barkley.
yeah, right. I mean, he's right there. I mean, and why wouldn't he be ahead of them at that point? Like what hasn't he done? The way that he plays basketball is just absolutely beautiful.
Passes
Uh,
KD.
what's up?
Passes KD.
Conversations might have to start. Two rings that he homegrown,
Yeah, like the homegrown rings and two MVPs. It's like
bro.
KD's got the longevity and the numbers, but also like the thing is, if we're talking numbers, like Jokic's numbers are nuts.
Was he like fourth all time in triple doubles?
Yeah, and his playoff per game numbers are better than KD's just all around.
I mean, and the he can score at every level,
Oh man.
mid range, 3-point shooter. When he plays the Lakers, bro, there's not a shot he hasn't taken that don't think is just going to hit the bottom of the net.
Dude, those matchups, like those Nuggets Lakers matchups, where like AD is just like fighting for his life, and like this
Yeah,
is the best. I think AD is probably the best defensive player in the league right now, like as a center,
that is,
in terms of being
yeah,
built for matching up against Jokic, and Jokic just hangs 45 on him every time, and it's
yeah,
like, dude, he's doing the soundboard shuffle,
yeah.
dude. What are we watching? Yeah, if he wins the chip in the MVP again, what?
We'll have to
Bird
have conversations, bro.
Because Bird won three straight chips, three straight finals. Oh, no, he
Three,
won
three
three
straight
straight.
MVPs. Yeah, he never went back to
Jok-
back,
Jokic is gonna do 3 out of 4 with the back-to-back chips with the finals MVPs.
and he's got. Is he 28? He's
Oh,
got a lot of
dude,
time.
help us. God help us. We're really gonna go from like this is ridiculous. We're gonna have gone from like the LeBron, Steph, Kawhi, whatever little era, KD little era, and then it's just gonna be Jokic spanking the league, and then he's gonna go, okay, I'm done.
Horses.
I'm going
Yeah,
back to the farm. I'm handing
yeah,
it off to Wemby. And then Wemby's just gonna spank the league for another 8 years.
bro. Wemby and his younger brother's coming too, bro.
Dude. Did you see the meme? It's like the George Bush getting like the guy
Yeah,
with
yeah, Mr. President. There's
we
another
found
one,
another brother.
bro. Yo, should we talk about Wemby?
Uh
Or is there
I'm
anything else
always
we want
down.
to get into?
No. I've pretty much talked about everything I want to talk about, I think.
I mean, quick other hits. Herb Jones for first team all defense.
Yes.
Probably just
Yes.
their team is just really, really friggin' good. Is CJ Mc I haven't watched a lot of their games recently, but I mean, see, their team is just really deep, and Zion's been playing really well recently.
And they're
Uh,
putting the ball in Zion's hands a little bit more as they need to. And this is what's gonna suck. Brandon Ingram's gonna like a little like slowly fade in that offense as he always does late in the season
like a bad.
because they know the team like only goes as far as Zion goes. And like thing is they're playing really well. Like Trey Murphy being back also. Trey Murphy being able to shoot from like 40 feet is also ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
he underratedly has crazy range. So he's
Mhm.
able to full spacing.
Bro, yeah. He's great. Jordan Hawkins is great too.
Fantastic. Yeah. And then like you said, Herb Jones signed a contract where he's making like 15 million a year and he's like probably the best wing defender in the NBA. Like
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. Best.
um but we could talk about Wemby if you want.
Oh yeah. So congratulations to the other team in the NBA that is officially out of the playoffs, the San Antonio Spurs. Go crazy, go stupid. Wemby stats this year: 20.7, 10.3 boards per game, 3.4 assists a game, 1.3 steals per game, 3.4 blocks per game, 33% from three. But let's change that to per 36. That moves up to 26, 13, 4.5 assists, a steal and a half, and 4.5 blocks. But let's look at post All-Star, as his minutes are 22 a game, 12 boards, 5 assists, 5.3 blocks, and 2.3 steals. If we move that to per 36, which he will probably be at some point in his career, 25 and a half, 13 and a half, 5.8 assists, 2.7 steals per game, and 6 blocks per game in per 36. Like,
Yep.
this dude has improved 3 times in this season alone. And he's playing at a level that we thought maybe he'd be at in his second year, his third year. I have a take about this, and I think I might have said this earlier on. They will be a finals contender in the next 2 years.
You said it. You totally gave that take on this pod. You 100% said it.
No, they won't. Not saying they'll win a chip, but they will be in the finals conversation. They need to figure out what they're going to do in the offseason, but
His on-off numbers are just like insane too. Like he is so maybe I'm overreacting a little bit here too, but he's gonna be able to shoot the three ball at like a 40% rate. His pull-up three shot is he's shooting 45% on pull-up
yeah,
threes, 25% on catch and shoots, which basically means he's just gonna make up the catch and shoot. If you can shoot 45% on
on the
like
harder
dribble
thing.
pull-ups,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're gonna be totally fine.
Yeah.
The the bigger thing, this might be a top five rookie, top six rookie season I've seen in terms of individual player. Um, some examples. The thing is there are some weird cases, and the reason I want to say individual is because someone like Magic Johnson scored like 18 a game in his rookie season, but they won the chip. And
Yeah.
it's like it's
And
gonna
he
be
was
really hard.
finals MVP.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna be really hard for me to say, oh, like Wemby was a better rookie than Magic, but just in terms of like an individual rookie of the year case, this might be the single best or like a top five best rookie of the year case. You know, we have Wilt's rookie year, throw that out the window, can't beat that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's rookie year after 4 years at UCLA, throw that out the window, can't beat that. Then there's some other ones like Oscar Robertson, 30 points a game his rookie year, can't beat that.
Walt Bellamy,
Well, Bellamy, what did he put up in his rookie?
31.
Damn, like,
31.
that's
But
ridiculous.
but to your
But
yeah,
I,
go on.
I,
Go on.
I was just gonna say an example that I really like. Larry Bird in his rookie year,
Mm-hmm.
21 points per game, 10 rebounds a game, 3-point percentage, 40% from three. Pretty impressive for the time, by the way. Pretty cool. But like 4.5 assists, and with a lot more minutes. So that's kind of where the Wemby's passing numbers would be at. Um, and obviously Bird doesn't have the steals or blocks because Wemby does.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm here even trying to tell you that Wemby is having a better rookie season than Larry Bird, who again, Larry Bird was 23 when he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Like we need to like sound the alarms. Like 3.5 blocks and 1.5 steals over 28 minutes a game is just like that's like not normal. This is not real. This is not normal shit.
Bro, he's just unbelievable. He could be the best player of all time. He
He
really
really
could.
he really could. Like this is better than David Robinson's rookie year, arguably. Like I know David Robinson put up like 24, which is like impressive, but David Robinson
Yeah.
also was like 25 years old. David
Yeah.
Robinson was like a super old rookie. Like
Yeah.
you could like this is a 20-year-old guy who lived in France his whole life until this year. Like I don't know. Basically, league on watch. And there's no rookie of the year debate. Like this last few weeks is just and Chet's amazing. Chet is Chet might be a Hall of Famer, like for all we know. Like at this rate, but it's just like unfortunately. You
If
got you got unlucky in the dice roll. You came out like you missed your whole year and now you
yeah,
gotta
yeah, yeah, yeah.
go.
He might have had a rookie of the year if he didn't hurt
Yeah,
his against LeBron. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I could wax poetic about Wemby. This is unheard of shit. Like this is like absurd.
Yeah. It's crazy. He's
It's better than LeBron's.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's fair. Because
Like
LeBron didn't bring a team to the playoffs, and neither is Wemby. So the only thing that hurts them is the fact that they're so bad, but also that's a lack of usage, and they're kind of just messing around right now. Like They don't have anything to play for. They're already out of the playoffs. It's fine. People want to see this guy play. He's box office.
Okay. I didn't know that LeBron finished ninth in MVP voting his rookie year.
Yeah, I mean, he was great, like 25 and 5, like 20 points, 5 assists, 5 boards.
20-5-5, yeah. But like they okay, they finished, I think, 33 and like 49 or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, they definitely had more wins than, but like you can't. I mean, Larry Bird turned that Celtics team around. They were a terrible team, and they finished with 61 wins when he was a rookie. But but that's like the question, right? Like
Yeah,
every
that's what I'm saying, like as an individual. That's why I was trying to be like,
right.
yeah.
Because
Because, Larry Bird wasn't playing with Jeremy fucking Sochan. Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah.
Who's actually really good, actually. That was just
It's
total shit. I'm so
kind
sorry.
of weird, bro. I mean, they're a talented team. Devin Vassell's really good. I mean, they might want to keep him. He's been playing.
Oh, I'm not trading Devin Vassell because the fit also makes sense there. A wing scorer who
Mhm.
can also play a little bit of defense. The fit makes sense. I want Vassell on my team.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm of the belief that the Spurs, I don't know this, you know this better than me, then the Spurs probably have a bunch of cap space.
Yes.
Um, who should they go for? They gotta go for someone. I've been seeing all the shit about Trey Young, but like, who would make sense?
So this is a pretty, let's be honest, this is a pretty trash free agency class. Like I'm gonna be like again, completely honest. It's probably one of the worst ones I've seen in a while. But there are some weird cases. If I remember correctly, Paul George hasn't signed his
Yeah.
extension in LA yet. So like that's the ideal for any team. But that's if he hits the market, that's the best free agent on the market. And then you have guys who aren't really conducive to like, in my opinion, like winning that much. With like the James Hardens, um, like Klay Thompson allegedly. Like this is the thing. If you're the Spurs, you're gonna go pay Klay Thompson 20 million a year. Like probably not. Like, and that which makes it weird. And then Siakam, he could be a free agent. He won't be. He's just gonna resign in Indiana. Like, and then the rest of the guys, now we're looking at like Tyus Jones, Gordon Hayward, Jonas Valanciunas. Like, I don't know. That's kind of the sort of player. Funnily enough, DeRozan would be kind of sick.
Yeah, he goes back to the Spurs.
It would be kind of like because since Wemby can stretch the floor, you almost don't care as much that DeRozan can't shoot. And remember, DeRozan when he was there was doing a lot more than just scoring. He was doing a lot more passing and playing a
Mhm.
lot better defense. Like that iteration of DeRozan was like pretty interesting.
He was
Um,
good.
so that's curious to me. Um, I don't know. I think it's a pretty rough spot, frankly. My I think my dream, if I'm the Spurs, I'm basically just telling Emmanuel quickly that like he's gonna get a max contract offer sheet. Like we're gonna give you an offer
He's
sheet.
been balling.
Yeah. Like because if you're the Spurs, like if you overpay for quickly to take a risk on quickly, that's also a guy who fits the team. He's a guard. He can score, play defense. Um, this is also an idea stolen from one of our friends who like mentioned this to me. But yeah, if I'm the Spurs, Emmanuel quickly, I'm just here's a max contract. Just I'm closing my eyes and handing it to him. Because also like you can turn around and Emmanuel quickly is not Jordan Poole. You can turn around and trade Emmanuel quickly in a year from now, and you could be fine. Like he's a proper defensive player, etc. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
You
there's a
do have
lot,
Trey Jones there. That's the thing. Like,
and he's solid. He's good. I mean, maybe let the team develop a bit. I'd be curious to see how they get out of the starting blocks next year. Because if they're anywhere near a playing spot, maybe just ride it out with them.
yeah, I'm trying to think uh, like maybe Kyle Anderson. You try to go snatch a role guy like that, like an additive piece.
Or do you, I mean, the Spurs, they might get the number one pick again.
That's,
So,
I mean, that's
so
actually like, that's
do
yeah,
they
that's actually we didn't think about that at all.
do they try to package some stuff? I don't know though, but because teams might be like, we don't really want your first round picks in like 3 years because
Yeah,
they're not going to be great picks. But this year, maybe the next year, if it's some lottery pick, I don't think they're going to be this bad. And then do you go for a star?
but here's my thing. While you have Wemby. and you're getting high picks, let's keep those high picks. There's like the team's still young. Let's just
That's
like
true.
let's use the pick next year. Like we'll see what we can get. And honestly, next year they won't be a bottom five team next year, you know? Like so at that point now we can start trading. But like if I'm getting a top five pick, I know it's a bad draft, but like let's just use it. And also the players in this draft feel like players who can make sense with Wemby, like every NBA player probably makes sense for Wemby, but like Alex Sarr, he's a center, 7'2". It's tough. Like I don't know if you're gonna pair two 7-footer, two guys that tall, like whatever. But you have like Zachary Risacher, who's like a French guy, the swing man, actually number one on the Draft Express mock drafts. France, shout out. But then Rob Dillingham from Kentucky. He's like their 6'2" guard who just like sprints 24/7, hits every tough shot you've ever seen in your life. Like it gives me De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell combo vibe. It's weird. Um, and so there's guys like this who I think could make sense. So I think like this year, just use the pick, develop, and go from there.
Well,
But
I think also to add to your point, I think you remember how good that 2017, 2018 draft was with Tatum? And then the next year, the one with Luca, Trey. I don't remember who was in the one after that, but then there was the 2021, and people thought that was going to be ass. And then Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Halliburton, Maxey. Then 2021, we just talked about Jalen Green, Sengun. There are other guys I'm just not thinking about right now.
bronze,
Bronze, 2022, amazing. We were talking about how good the rookies versus the sophomores were. And then this year's crazy. I feel like every year there's a bad draft class, and then the players are actually really friggin' good.
yeah,
So,
I, I totally
yeah,
agree.
maybe you do hold on to this pick.
No, just hold on to this one. Hold on to this one. And then now like starting next year you can start trading. Because the thing is like, there's also gonna be players like CP3 or someone. Someone's gonna be a salary cap casualty, and you're gonna be able to pick them up on the expiring deal. And like that can just be a guy that you bring in and like hold over for a year while you're just like, let's assess. Like,
Yeah.
let's assess. Like and this guy's gonna make us better. We're probably not gonna keep him around, but like let's bring him in. He's gonna play 20 minutes, and now we can still keep that caps. You're basically rolling over that cap space to the next year, when you're taking on a salary cap casualty like that. Um, but that player would be need to be willing to play for you because this is the thing. It's like if you're in a John Wall situation, you get like the 40 million of John Wall, and you're like, John, you need to come off the bench, and he's like, F you. It's
Yeah.
like, that's when you get into tough situations there. But that's the thing. Like I think they'll probably throw a huge offer sheet at like a quickly or even I don't know. I can't think of any of the Nick Claxton. Like that's a bad example because him and Wemby doesn't really make sense. But you know,
Unless Wemby can turn into this like stretch five and they can have two 7-footers on their court and just have a traditional center.
yeah. But at the end of the day, like Wemby's got to be your five, And if you're gonna throw money at someone, like, are you gonna throw money at the guy who's gonna clog the paint for the guy that you
Mm.
want to play in the paint?
Right.
They're in a weird spot. They'll be fine because again they have Victor Wembanyama, but like
Yeah.
they're
Damn.
anyways. I think that covers everything I want to talk about. I feel like we've just been ranting for like yeah, an hour or so now. It's been good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think man, it was too long of a time. We just had to, and Wemby's just doing his thing. Just so much
He's
going on, bro.
he's so good. I wish I was that good at anything. Or I wish I was 7'5".
Dude, let's get on it, bro. All these kids are having babies. All these guys are having babies. We got to go back in the old days. You had a kid, you settled down, you became a father, you learned how to be a man. Dude, if Wemby has a kid, I'm done watching.
As a kid, the league's strong. He's gonna average like 40, 40, 10, 10, 10, and 10. Like
Yeah,
it's
he's
it's
gonna.
gonna be so.
He's.
Is that why Wilt was so good? Is that why Wilt was so good, bro? Dude, he figured it out years before Van Fleet. Holy crap.
Tapes, bro. Yeah, he knew the recipe. Um, dude, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just really good. It's weird. It's cool also seeing like LeBron still playing at a pretty high level. and Wemby at the same time. And like there will be pictures of like Wemby and LeBron in like 15 years or whatever when Wemby's won like 4 rings. And just like that
And
overlap. So cool.
when LeBron's won 7. No,
Sheesh. Crazy
no.
Lakers run coming up. We didn't really talk about the Lakers actually, which is fine. Let's keep it at how we
Yeah,
close.
we don't. D'Lo is disgusting though. Like, yeah,
But
what, 45 last night? Bro has just been talking shit. Like ever since he started talking shit, like he's been playing better. I'm like, he'll go to his press conferences. He'll be like, I'm one with the water. The wind in my sails has never stopped me. And then he goes out and drops 45. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? But like, keep doing this. I don't know what's going on, but like, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, he was an all-star for a reason 4 years ago, but still. Um,
Did you see his quote? He's like, humiliation has like shaped me into the man I am today. I'm not scared of anything, of no man. And I was like, what the I
yeah.
was like, I love the energy though. This is lit. Like you're hooping, keep this up. But it was like absurd.
Um, yeah, whoa, wait, I'm looking for his quote. Um, this um yeah, public humiliation has done nothing but molded me into the killer you see today. Um, I never lack confidence. I never fear confrontation. I want all the smoke. I love it.
Like no one like that's just hilarious. Like I wish I saw the clip. Like, what was the question that prompted him to just be
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm him. Like I
yeah,
want all this, but like, dude,
yeah. They're like,
no.
how do you think your final defensive scheme worked to slow Dame down?
He's
And he just starts
public
talking.
humiliation. Yeah.
He is him.
Public embarrassment shaped me. I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. The
Yeah.
NBA has been as entertaining as ever, dude.
Oh, it's awesome, bro. That clip of LeBron.
Which one? Oh, talking to Jeannie or which one?
Yeah, talking to Jeannie and whoever the other woman is.
Did you see what he said? He said, first of all, Happy International Women's Day.
Hey. Oh man.
The game.
Le Le dog, Le flirt.
The spitting. The
Le
spitting
spit.
hoops.
Yo! We lit. Let's go.
I feel like we kind of got to wrap it up there.
And that's it. We'll see you
Yeah.
guys soon. Until then, we'll be here chilling, spitting hoops.
Peace out.
Nostalgia.
Babies.